Hi, I'm Sam from VACE, the Authorized dealers of Reliable in Singapore. Today we're going to visit the Hive. We deploy a huge amount of controllers. So let's take a look.
Yeah, I think it's a really nice and comfortable environment, and it's very easy for us to focus in class.
You see the console, there's the panel there inside house the MACH-ProSys controller.